Hello, audience and listeners from all over Pakistan. My name is Khalid Taimur Akram, and today we are again with you with a program on community with shared future. As you know, that the concept of community of shared future was given by President Xi Jinping, and since then, a lot of work on this concept is being done all over the world and especially in China. So today we have our honorable guest, Ms. Zhang, with us from China Communication University. She is the Vice President of the Institute of Community with Shared Future in Beijing in China Communication University. Welcome, Madam.
Okay, I'm very happy to be invited to join this program.
So you are right now live on Pakistani radio, FM 87.6. This is the first official channel of Radio Pakistan, which is a government agency, and now all over in Islamabad and Pakistan, people are listening to you. So please first tell us about the concept of community of shared future and what is your institute doing about it?
Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm very honored to be invited to join this program. And as the Deputy Dean of the Institute for Community with a Shared Future at the Communication University of China, I'm very honored to have this opportunity to meet our Pakistanis and also to introduce about what we have been done in China in promoting the concept of community with a shared future in China. As you know that a community with a shared future for mankind or humanity, community with a shared future, which promoted by China or Chinese government for 10 years already. And this concept was first introduced or raised by our President Xi Jinping when he made a visit in Russia and delivered us the concept to the Russia university students there. And of course, this is a new concept which has been developed in the past 10 years. And this year is also regarded as the 10th anniversary, which the concept was raised. And so I think it's very important for us to review, to revisit this concept. Of course, this is a very important concept which adopted and promoted by China to give a concept which is different from the traditional international concept to how to do the international governance of the world. So it could be regarded as very fresh but very creative concept to redesign the international governance. That is the first important meaning of this concept, especially when the whole world confronted with all kinds of challenges like climate change, like security issues, peace, and like poverty issues, or health challenges, all kinds of crises. But as we know that those kind of challenges cannot be solved by one nation or one group of people or society. So we need to unite together to solve this kind of challenges or crisis. So this is a very new concept. It promotes bilateralism and promote cooperation, understandings, and globalization, a new globalization. On the other side, this concept is also part of China's it's not part of it. It's the fundamental principle for China's foreign policy or our international policy, which means we like to collaborate with the world and instead of to be the leader of the world. So we want to promote peace and development, and we need to work together. And so this is a very, very important concept for to guide China's foreign policy. And of course, we receive a lot of interest, and also, consideration, and even, studies from international world. As the deputy dean of this, the Institute for Community with a Shared Future, this is also the leading and also the first, think tank in China in promoting the concept of, promoting, studying the concept of community with a shared future. So we did a lot of work, and I like to share what we have done. But we are very happy. We work with, Mr. Khalid Akram, and we set up a joint center there. So yeah, this is a very good, opportunity for us.
Thank you very much, Madam. As we know that China Communication University has been playing a very instrumental role in promoting the idea of community of shared future. But lately we have seen President Xi Jinping has given his vision about global development initiatives, global security initiatives, and global civilization initiatives. What are these initiatives? And because mostly in the West, there is a very wrong perception that China is trying to colonize the world. But actually, we know that China is not doing that. So what you have to say about that? Because being a scholar, I must say that whenever we open YouTube or we open social media, we find a lot of stuff and a lot of people talking against China. So what is this global development initiatives, and how these initiatives can work for the betterment of the world?
Okay, so yes, we understand there are a lot of misperceptions and even, stereotypes and misunderstandings towards China's rise and China's development. So I'm sure there's because the media play a key role in interpreting, this kind of interpreting China. And of course, we raised the three initiatives. I regard it as the executive approach to make the concept community with a shared future for mankind to be workable and to be applicable. So this is three approaches to support this concept from my point of view.
Thank you. So as we are talking about social media, I would like to stick to media and ask you that what kind of role the Chinese media is playing in social and economic changes and development in China?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is a very good question, because we know there are a lot of misperceptions and understandings about Chinese media. So I receive, as a professor in the university, every year I give lectures to international journalists. They visit China, or some international students. I think they all first, when we start the lecture, they ask me the question. So some of the question quite challenging. So they believe that Chinese media full of censorship, and Chinese media is government controlled, and we see a lot of Western media portray Chinese media like that. They always say state-led Chinese media like CGTN, or Chinese government stole controlled media. I think this is a misperception, and but actually my students also feel, curious to know that what's the secret, what kind of role Chinese media played in the fast economic development, and also very stable society in the past 40 years. So my understanding is Chinese media play a very constructive role in promoting peace and development in China. So I believe Chinese media are doing sort of, we believe, constructive journalism, because, the traditional journalism promoted, which adopted and practiced by a lot of, news media in the Western world, or under so-called democratic or free media system, media play the role as a watchdog and focus on the, negative stories, just watch the government full of criticism, a lack of, solutions, or lack of, we say lack of, spiritual or encouraging, solutions to the people. So that will create a lot of negative feelings or negative mindset among the people, and it does not, help the country to unite together. Instead, make the country polarized, especially for the developing countries, when the country still need a lot of, still need the government, the people work together to fight for the solutions of the development or peace of the country. In China, we did something very different from the so-called, negative reporting or watchdog journalism, or so-called liberal media system. We follow the constructive media way, which means the media, they work closely with the government, or the government or work closely with the media and the people, and they united together as a ball, rolling towards one direction, and to solve the national's, key challenges. One is to maintain the social stability. That is very, very important for the country's development. So on the other side, media, publicize the government's, major policies, interpreted the government major policies, and at the same time, they will pass the grassroots, policies, the grassroots, opinions to the government. So they will help the government to achieve the major, project of the country, like the anti-corruption campaign, or the, anti-poverty, campaign. So I think media play the role not to as a criticism or as a criticism, machine, but instead as a, constructive, tools, or a mechanism to help the country unite together to fight for development and peace.
Thank you very much, Madam. You have explained very elaborately about the role of Chinese media. Let me tell to our listeners again that today we have the honor of having Ms. Zhang with us. She is the Deputy Dean of Institute of Community with Shared Future in Communication University of China. So can you please tell us that what kind of media studies are carried out in your university? Because there are a lot of students in Pakistan who are interested in media studies and would like to go to China and study. So what kind of, for the students of media studies, what do you recommend, that what kind of good subjects are available for the students of bachelor's and master's level?
Yes, China in recent years, we encourage to attract a lot of international students. We're happy to see that Chinese government offer a lot of, scholarship to Pakistan, students in Pakistan. And in my university, every year we have a good number of, students, they study their master's degree or PhD degree in my university. I think our university, the Communication University of China, are the leading university in China. We offer the media and communication and information studies. So they study, several programs. We offer program in English, both for master's degree and PhD. So we do have a student, they study, international communication, that program in my university, and also advertising, media art, or digital, information or technology, some programs like that. But I really encourage the student from Pakistan to study in my university, to study program related to media and journalism, especially international communication. But I notice a lot of universities, like universities in such as in Africa countries, or in, I don't know, in Pakistan, but at least in African countries, international communication or global communication was not offered largely in the university. So that might be a good choice for them.
So as we know that this is the age of digital media, so is the Communication University of China in Beijing, do you offer courses in the digital media and digital advertising also?
Yeah. We really shifting our program to digitalization. So we do offer courses related to digital technology and the digital media. So we in my university we see the animation program, digital art program is a very strong in this university. At the same time, like internet related programs is also very popular and very strong, such as like e-governance and digital journalism are very getting to be popular here.
So as I know that you are also director of the African Center in Communication University. So what can you tell us about the Belt and Road program in Africa? Because in Pakistan, we know about CPAC, we know about the Central Asian corridors and the BRI corridors in this area. But most of the people do not know that what kind of BRI projects are going on in Africa. So can you just explain that the grand initiative of BRI, what kind of main projects are going on in the African region?
Yes, as the director of African Media Studies in this university, we see a growing number of African students study in my university. And of course, it's also part based on the China-Africa, China-Africa, forum that is a FOCAC. So they receive, scholarship in my university. And of course, it's also part of the initiative for the Belt and Road.
Yes.
Of course, Belt and Road. A lot of African countries are partners of the Belt and Road initiative, such as in Kenya, like in Ethiopia, railroads, and a lot of infrastructures was carried out, especially in Africa. Belt and Road is the very important part of Belt and Road is to build, the road. We say the road or infrastructure, the road. So if you visit China, you see in most of countries, you see the very smoothly road built by China. So a Chinese company. I think that's very, vivid or very, interesting example for Belt and Road initiative, which adopted in or promoted in African countries.
Very nice to know this thing that the Belt and Road program is now celebrating its 10th year, and this year is the 10th year celebration. And we recently saw that the Vice Prime Minister of China just visited Pakistan, and he was part of the celebration with us. And in Pakistan, the CPAC project is also going on with a lot of enthusiasm. So as I know that China Communication University has opened up these centers of Community of Shared Future in many countries. So can you please throw light that along with Pakistan, which are the main countries where the community, the Institute of Community with Shared Future are opened?
Yeah, as the think tank of the Communication University of China, we were interested to set up, or jointly set up, joint center around the world, which is we like to, find more, encourage more scholars or think tanks to pay attention to the concept. So we, so far in the past 3 years, we have established or jointly established 16 international centers around the world, like 4 centers in Africa, like in Nigeria, in Ethiopia, in we say Angola, and also in Tanzania. And also in Asian, we established centers with Pakistan, with Malaysia, with Japan, and not Japan, the South Korea, and we are going to set up a center in Japan. And also we have some other joint centers in Latin American countries like Venezuela, Chile, those countries. Yeah. So Argentina, yeah. So we're really happy to see that there are growing number of scholars and research centers and researchers. They pay a lot of attention to the concept, a community with a shared future. And we're happy to see we organize some international think tanks. On this, we discuss a lot of concept and approaches around this concept. And of course, we also publish some books over this concept. As you may know that we recently organized a book release, which we co-published a book with our Venezuela Center. That name is China Venezuela towards a community with a shared future. And we are very happy to see the book release in Beijing. And I think like 6 embassies from South American countries, attend this event, and we see, ambassadors from South American countries deliver a very, very good speech over that book release, event.
That's very nice to know, and I'm happy to tell this to our listeners that out of the 16 centers around the world, Pakistan Research Center for Community with Shared Future since last 2 years has been on the top, and the research work which we have been doing and the work which we did on Community of Shared Future was very much liked in China also.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So coming over to the concept of the Community of Shared Future. So do you think that since last 2-3 years, a lot of work has been done on this concept? Do you think that world now really understands this concept, or there is a lot to be learned about this concept?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think this is, this concept has been raised for 10 years. We see, the international world pay a lot of attention to this concept. And of course, especially those scholars at universities or some which they study international relations, international policies or international, communications. And those a group of scholars, they really have a good understanding of a community with a shared future, this concept. So, yeah. And even we see there's, increasing interest in this concept, because I learned like a lot of, researchers, they notice that the world needs cooperation. We have to work together to solve the problems or the challenges we are facing. So we see there's increasing, interest from the academic, world to this concept. But at the same time, we see also some misperception and even some negative discourse towards this concept by saying that China is very ambitious, want to change the world order. And of course, I think from the Western world, there are also such kind of discourse.
Yeah. Again, I would come back to Beijing, and because a lot of Pakistanis who go for tourism, who go for shopping to Beijing. So since you are there, you live in Beijing. So please tell our listeners about Beijing, that what is the best time to visit Beijing? So what are the main tourist places in Beijing, and what kind of food the people of Beijing like?
Yeah, since I'm going to visit, Pakistan at the end of this month, and I like to see my students and friends there. But I know that a lot of Pakistan students and people, they like to visit China, visit Beijing. I stay in Beijing for nearly 30 years, I think more than 30 years. So we see the best time to visit Beijing. Of course, the whole year you can visit Beijing. but the best time is in spring and also autumn. We say autumn is the golden season in China. It's not very hot, not very, cold. And of course, you will see a very beautiful, weather here in Beijing. And Beijing is a very international city. It will be comfortable to travel in Beijing. A lot of people, they can speak, English. And as to the food, of course, the Peking duck is the, we say, business card of Beijing. And also in Beijing, you can enjoy all kinds of food or different kinds of cuisines from different parts of China. And of course, I think everybody, they come to China, they will come to Beijing. When they go back home, they will miss the food in Beijing. So I'm sure you will satisfy your stomach when you are in Beijing or in China. And in China now we are, and also the whole China, we, the digital payment is very popular. So we buy everything with mobile payment or digital payment. So it's you can buy a lot of products. I know that my international friends, they like to buy like a Huawei mobile phone, cell phones, and some digital products or clothing, or some cultural souvenirs. Of course, there are a lot of varieties. You will see, for example, in Beijing, you can visit the Silk Road, which is a very friendly to Silk Market. Sorry, Silk Market. It's a very convenient for foreigner to visit there. I'm sure you will have a good shopping experience.
Yeah, I did a lot of shopping from there.
You did, yeah.
So as we know that hopefully very soon that a delegation from China Communication University will visit Pakistan. Hopefully you will be interacting with a lot of students with various universities in Pakistan. So before we end up our interview, so I would like to ask you that what is your message for people of Pakistan, because as you know that Pakistan and China are very, very good friends. So what is your, as a scholar of international relations and as the scholar of Community of Shared Future, what is your message to the people of Pakistan?
Okay, thank you very much. And of course, I have a lot of students in Pakistan, and they always say, come to my country, visit me, visit us. We have a history, we have a good food, and we can show you around. I can see the hospitality from my student, from our Pakistani students there. And most of them, they work in the university, and some of them, they work in the media. So because we're really good friends, actually, we are really good friends. So you see when they study in China, we had a lot of a discussion over the China-Pakistan relations. And we see the very, very strong ties between the two sides. And of course, in China, everywhere you go, you will see, any people you ask about Pakistan, they will use two words to tell you, I'm brother. That's our I'm brother. So everybody knows that, I'm in Chinese, that's a ba tie, that means Pakistan, I'm. So I'm brother. I think that reveals, Chinese people's, strong, strong, views about the bilateral relations. And on the other side, we also see the, hospitality from our Pakistani, students. They really feel very positive towards the, Pakistan and China's relations. At the same time, my student also told me maybe some young people there, they don't know much about the history of China and Pakistan, and they might be, get too much information from the Western media, from the social media. And of course, there are a lot of, fake news or disinformation, or, those kind of, negative stories about China-Pakistan relations. I really like to invite them to be more open-minded and to study the history of China-Pakistan relations and to read more news about China. because we see a lot of misunderstandings about China, and of course I hope that our students, the student they used to study in China when they return to Pakistan, I hope they can be a bilateral ambassador between the two sides to increase people's understanding of the relations of the two countries. I think that's very, very important.
Thank you very much, Dr. Zhang. It was really honor to talk to you, and I'm sure that today a lot of people have heard you live on Radio Pakistan. So hopefully, once you will come to Pakistan, we will invite you to our studios, to our FM channel, and we will have your live interview over here also. And as we know that Pakistan, you have very rightly said that Pakistan and China are iron brothers, and this friendship has flourished in last 75 years, and in times to come, this friendship will get more and more stronger. So from the team of the Planet FM 87.6 and Radio Pakistan, I would like to thank you for joining us today to the live transmission of Radio Pakistan, and hopefully we will be seeing you soon in Pakistan.
Yeah, see you soon in Pakistan. I'm really looking forward to the visit, and it will be a very exciting one. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you.